Your Ford truck deserves better than what most gas stations are selling. Industry reports show that nearly 65% of gasoline sold across America contains barely minimum detergent levels, far below what Ford engineers recommend for their engines. This weak fuel causes over 500,000 vehicle breakdowns annually just from carbon deposits alone. So absolutely avoid these 11 gasoline brands, and in the end, I'll show you the top 5 brands that will actually keep your Ford engine strong for thousands of miles. These are the same gas I use in my own F-150 fleet, including one that's crossed 387,000 miles without major engine work. Let's start with the worst brands. Number 11. Speedway. Here's the thing about Speedway gasoline. Their stations look modern with bright lighting and clean facilities, giving an impression of quality. But don't let appearances deceive you. Their fuel often comes from various regional suppliers, so you never really know what's going into your Ford's tank. I've worked on many Ford engines that ran exclusively on Speedway fuel for extended periods. The pattern is remarkably consistent. Excessive carbon buildup on intake valves, sluggish throttle response, and deteriorating fuel economy. When we analyze fuel samples, they typically show insufficient detergent content. This is problematic because detergents are what prevent carbon deposits from forming in the first place. Carbon buildup in direct injection engines is particularly severe. Unlike port injection, where fuel sprays onto the back of intake valves helping them keep clean, direct injection sprays fuel directly into the combustion chamber. The intake valves only see crankcase blow-by gases and exhaust gas recirculation, which deposits carbon without any cleaning action. And quality fuel with proper detergents is the only defense. In 2020, some Speedway locations were caught selling fuel with excessive water content following heavy rainfall. Drivers filled their tanks, drove a short distance, and experienced sputtering or complete failure to start. Water and gasoline don't mix, and even small amounts can cause rust formation in the fuel system and damage fuel pumps. And Speedway is not top-tier certified. See, top-tier is a designation created by major automakers, including Ford, that requires significantly higher detergent levels than the EPA minimum. When a fuel brand skips this certification, it's usually because meeting those standards would cut into their profit margins. For Ford trucks, especially those with a 3.5-liter EcoBoost V6 or the 5.0-liter Coyote V8, this minimum standard is inadequate for long-term engine health. The brand might look premium on the outside, but what flows through their pumps tells a completely different story. And if you think Speedway cuts corners, wait until you see the next brand. Number 10. Amoco Fuel. This one surprises many people because Amoco has name recognition dating back decades. People hear Amoco and assume it's a trusted, old-school brand with proven quality, but the reality is quite different. Since BP revived the Amoco brand, their fuel is essentially rebranded BP regular gasoline. The problem is that their standard grades face criticism for weak detergent additive levels compared to true top-tier brands like Chevron or Shell. EPA complaint records show concerns about Amoco fuel causing carbon accumulation in modern direct injection engines. For Ford trucks, particularly those with EcoBoost engines, this carbon buildup leads to power loss, rough idle, and increased fuel consumption. I've personally inspected Ford engines with only 60,000 miles that ran mostly on Amoco fuel. They showed carbon deposits typical of engines with 150,000 miles or more. The intake valves were heavily coated, and the fuel injectors showed performance degradation from carbon accumulation. This premature aging happens when fuel doesn't contain adequate cleaning agents. Despite their marketing, Amoco fuel isn't consistently top-tier certified at all locations. Some Amoco stations use older underground storage tanks that can develop leaks, allowing groundwater infiltration. Water in fuel is devastating for your Ford's fuel pump and injectors. Water causes corrosion and can lead to complete fuel system failure. One Ford Super Duty owner I worked with had been exclusively using Amoco for 3 years. When his truck started running rough and losing power, we discovered his fuel injectors were so clogged with carbon that they needed complete replacement. That is a repair bill exceeding $2,000, all because he thought he was using a quality brand based on the name alone. The Amoco name might evoke nostalgia, but don't let that cloud your judgment. This isn't the same Amoco that built the reputation generations ago. And trust me, the next brand makes Amoco's issues look minor in comparison. At number 9, we have Pilot Flying J. This brand has made headlines for all the wrong reasons, and their fuel quality issues are just part of a larger pattern of problems. Pilot Flying J isn't just another truck stop chain. They were at the center of one of the largest fuel rebate fraud scandals in American history. In 2013, federal agents raided their corporate headquarters after the company admitted to systematically cheating truckers out of fuel discounts. Millions of dollars were stolen from hardworking professional drivers who trusted the brand. But the problems extend beyond financial fraud. Many commercial drivers still report fuel quality concerns. I've had Ford diesel truck owners come in after long trips saying their Power Stroke engine started knocking or losing power immediately after refueling at Pilot Flying J. Fuel testing revealed high water content and heavy sediment from poorly maintained storage tanks. When a company prioritizes profit over integrity, fuel quality inevitably suffers. The infrastructure maintenance required to ensure clean fuel delivery gets deferred in favor of maximizing margins. Your Ford's engine becomes the victim of these cost-cutting decisions. For Ford trucks with high-pressure fuel injection systems, contaminated fuel causes accelerated wear. The injectors operate with tolerances measured in microns. Even microscopic particles can score internal components, leading to reduced fuel atomization and poor combustion. This damage is cumulative and permanent. Sure, Pilot Flying J locations are convenient for travelers, but when your engine depends on clean, properly treated fuel, convenience isn't enough. And the next brand on our list has contamination issues that are just as concerning. At number 8, we have Love's Travel Stops. Professional truck drivers and road trippers rely on Love's because they're everywhere and open around the clock. However, as we mentioned before, convenience is not the same as quality. Love's Fuel has been flagged multiple times by state inspectors for contamination issues and inadequate storage tank maintenance. When you're operating hundreds of high-volume fuel stations, maintaining every underground storage tank to proper standards becomes extremely difficult. I've had Ford truck owners fill up at Love's before long trips only to break down partway through their journey. When we drained their fuel tanks, we found cloudy gasoline with visible sediment floating in it. That's water contamination and particulate matter, neither of which belongs anywhere near your engine. In 2022, multiple drivers in Oklahoma and Missouri filed complaints after Love's Fuel caused their vehicles to stall immediately after refueling. State fuel inspectors discovered traces of microbial growth in underground storage tanks. This biological contamination creates a sludge that clogs fuel filters and injectors like adhesive. For Ford diesel truck owners, Love's diesel fuel quality is equally concerning. Diesel engine forums contain numerous reports about inconsistent fuel quality and inadequate additive packages. Modern Ford Power Stroke diesel engines have extremely tight tolerances in their high-pressure fuel injection systems. Contaminated fuel can score injector barrels and damage high-pressure pumps, leading to repairs costing thousands of dollars. Love's Fuel is not top-tier certified, which means no guaranteed detergent levels to keep your engine clean. It's inexpensive and easy to find, but every fill-up is a gamble with your Ford truck's engine health. And if you think Love's maintenance is questionable, the next brand's inconsistency will shock you. At number 7, we have Circle K. Those beautiful red signs are everywhere across North America, giving an impression of a large, reliable brand. But Circle K is far from that. They don't refine their own gasoline. They purchase from various local distributors, prioritizing cost over consistency. This purchasing model turns your Ford's engine into an unwitting test subject for whatever fuel blend they acquired that week. I've seen the results firsthand. Engines suffering from sticky fuel injectors, carbon-coated intake valves, and intermittent misfires that are difficult to diagnose because they come and go unpredictably. When we perform bore scope inspections on cylinders from trucks that consistently use Circle K fuel, the evidence is clear. Black carbon deposits coat the piston tops, indicating insufficient detergent additives in the fuel. This buildup reduces combustion efficiency, increases emissions, and robs your Ford of power. In 2020, multiple Circle K locations across the southern United States were penalized by state regulators after selling water-contaminated fuel that damaged dozens of vehicles. Some drivers couldn't even make it home after filling their tanks. The company attributed these incidents to delivery problems, but that explanation doesn't excuse selling contaminated fuel to customers. For Ford trucks, especially those with turbocharged EcoBoost engines, fuel quality directly impacts turbocharger longevity. Poor fuel quality can cause carbon buildup in the turbine, leading to reduced boost pressure and eventual turbo failure. Replacing a turbocharger can cost about several $1,000s. If you've experienced rough running, stalling, or performance issues right after filling up, drop a comment below about which brand you used. It helps other Ford owners avoid these problems. And make sure to subscribe because the next brand we're exposing is connected to one of America's largest retailers, and their fuel quality issues run deep. Number 6 is Sam's Club Fuel. Warehouse clubs have disrupted many industries with their bulk pricing model, but when it comes to gasoline, that model has significant drawbacks. Sam's Club fuel stations are designed for high volume throughput. They want to move millions of gallons as quickly as possible to maximize membership value. However, this focus on volume often comes at the expense of quality control. Their fuel comes from multiple regional suppliers, which means no standardized additive packages and no guaranteed detergent formulation. I've personally diagnosed numerous Ford trucks that regularly fueled at Sam's Club. Common issues include clogged fuel filters requiring premature replacement, uneven idle quality, and difficulty starting in cold weather. When we've drained and tested fuel from these vehicles, it often appears cloudy and has an off smell, indicating moisture contamination or sediment presence. The moisture problem is particularly concerning. Underground fuel storage requires proper maintenance to prevent water infiltration. When stations prioritize volume over maintenance, water accumulation becomes more likely. Water doesn't compress like gasoline, so if it reaches your cylinders, it can cause hydrolock and catastrophic engine damage. Here's the critical detail. Sam's Club gasoline is also not top-tier certified. This means their fuel only meets EPA minimum detergent requirements, which Ford engineers have stated are insufficient for long-term engine health. Top-tier certification requires 5 times more detergent additives than the EPA minimum. That difference directly impacts carbon buildup rates in your engine. Sure, Sam's Club fuel is cheaper per gallon, but when that savings comes with increased maintenance costs and potential engine damage, it's not a bargain. Your Ford's fuel system is too valuable to use as a testing ground for inconsistent fuel quality. And the next brand's business model makes Sam's Club look premium. Number 5 is Murphy USA. Murphy USA's entire business strategy revolves around one principle: selling gasoline cheaper than nearby competitors. When your core business model is built on being the cheapest option, something has to give. Usually it's the additive package that protects your engine. I've diagnosed numerous problems in Ford trucks that regularly fuel at Murphy USA. Common issues include rough idle quality, power loss under acceleration, and premature fuel injector failure. Many owners assume their truck is simply aging when in reality it's suffering from low-quality fuel. Fuel testing data from multiple state agencies shows Murphy USA's detergent additive levels frequently fall below top-tier standards. Additionally, their ethanol content can vary more than optimal, which affects fuel trim values and combustion quality. This inconsistency forces your Ford's engine computer to constantly adjust fuel delivery, leading to uneven performance. In 2018, several Murphy USA locations in Texas and Louisiana faced investigations after selling contaminated fuel that caused multiple vehicles to stall immediately after refueling. The company blamed supplier errors, but when you're operating hundreds of stations nationwide, quality control is your responsibility, not your supplier's. For modern Ford trucks with sophisticated fuel injection systems, consistent fuel quality is essential. The fuel pumps in Ford's high-pressure direct injection systems operate at pressures exceeding 2,000 psi. Contaminated fuel can damage these pumps, leading to repairs costing over $1,500. Saving $1 or $2 per fill-up at Murphy USA might seem smart, but your engine pays the price with every mile. And the next brand's quality control is even more questionable. At number 4, we have Safeway gasoline. If you've noticed your Ford running rough a few days after filling up, experiencing weak acceleration, or seeing unexplained check engine lights, you might be dealing with substandard fuel quality. Safeway operates fuel stations primarily on the West Coast, and while their grocery prices might be competitive, their gasoline is another story. Independent fuel quality testing has consistently shown their detergent additive packages fall significantly below automaker recommendations. For Ford trucks specifically, this is problematic because modern engines, especially EcoBoost turbocharged motors, are extremely sensitive to fuel quality. What happens inside your engine matters. When detergent levels are insufficient, carbon deposits accumulate rapidly on intake valves and fuel injectors. In Ford's direct injection engines, this buildup happens even faster because fuel doesn't wash over the intake valves like it does on port injection systems. The result is reduced power, rougher idle, and decreased fuel economy. I've personally inspected engines from Ford trucks that use Safeway fuel exclusively. The intake valves showed heavy carbon coating, spark plugs were fouled with black deposits, and the throttle response was noticeably degraded. These owners thought they were saving money with lower pump prices, but they ended up spending far more on cleaning services and repairs. The critical issue here is that Safeway fuel is, again, not top-tier certified. Top-tier is a designation created by major automakers, including Ford, that requires significantly higher detergent levels than the EPA minimum. When a fuel brand skips this certification, it's usually because meeting those standards would cut into their profit margins. And if you think Safeway is questionable, the next brand's inconsistency makes them look downright reliable. At number 3, we have 7-Eleven fuel stations. The convenience store giant operates thousands of locations nationwide, but convenience doesn't equal quality when it comes into what goes into your Ford's tank. Here's what most people don't realize. 7-Eleven doesn't refine or blend their own gasoline. They source fuel from various local suppliers, choosing whoever offers the lowest wholesale price at any given time. This means the fuel quality at one 7-Eleven location can be drastically different from another location just miles away. There's absolutely no consistency, and that's a serious problem for your engine. I've worked with numerous Ford truck owners who reported their vehicles ran perfectly fine until they filled up at a 7-Eleven station. Shortly after, they experienced rough idling, hesitation during acceleration, poor fuel mileage, and in some cases, engine knock, which indicates either low-octane fuel or contamination issues. Documentation from state fuel inspection agencies reveals multiple instances over the years where 7-Eleven locations were found selling gasoline contaminated with excessive ethanol or sediment from deteriorating underground storage tanks. In several cases, state regulators actually shut down pumps after discovering fuel that didn't meet specifications. For Ford EcoBoost engines, which run higher compression ratios and boost pressures, contaminated or low-quality fuel can cause serious damage. Water and fuel can corrode injectors and fuel pumps, while excess ethanol can damage seals and cause lean running conditions. The few dollars you might save at the pump can easily turn into repair bills exceeding $1,000. The inconsistency alone makes 7-Eleven fuel a risky choice for your Ford truck, but the next brand takes that risk to an entirely different level. Coming in at number 2 is Mega Saver Gasoline. These discount fuel stations are popping up across the country, advertising prices that seem too good to be true. And guess what? They usually are. Mega Saver operates on an ultra-low-cost model. They source whatever fuel they can get at the absolute lowest wholesale prices, with zero regard for quality or consistency. These stations often lack proper maintenance protocols for their underground storage tanks, leading to contamination issues that can destroy your Ford's fuel system. I've seen more fuel-related problems from Mega Saver stations than almost any other brand except one. The common issues include water contamination, sediment in fuel, inconsistent octane ratings, and virtually no detergent additives. When you're paying rock-bottom prices, you're getting rock-bottom quality. The lack of top-tier certification is just the beginning. Many Mega Saver locations don't even meet basic EPA requirements consistently. State fuel inspectors have shut down numerous Mega Saver stations after finding fuel that was completely out of specification or dangerously contaminated. For Ford trucks, especially modern ones with sophisticated fuel injection systems, Mega Saver fuel is essentially poison. I've diagnosed Ford F-150s that developed complete fuel system failures after using Mega Saver regularly. We're talking about destroyed fuel pumps, clogged injectors, damaged high-pressure fuel pumps on direct injection engines, and in some cases catalytic converter damage from misfiring. The pennies you save per gallon at Mega Saver will cost you thousands in repairs. Your Ford truck deserves better than bargain basement fuel. But even Mega Saver looks legitimate compared to the number 1 worst fuel brand. The number 1 worst fuel for your Ford truck is Lamb Fuels and similar operations caught selling contaminated waste fuel. This isn't just poor quality, this is criminal activity that can destroy your engine completely. Lamb Fuels made national headlines when they were prosecuted for selling industrial waste fuel disguised as legitimate gasoline. These weren't minor violations. We're talking about fuel contaminated with used oil, industrial solvents, and chemical byproducts from manufacturing waste being sold to gas stations across multiple states. According to federal EPA case files, Lamb Fuels deliberately blended hazardous waste into fuel to cut costs, then sold it to stations whose owners either didn't know or didn't care what they were pumping into customer vehicles. This represents the absolute worst-case scenario for your Ford's engine. Drivers filled their trucks and suddenly experienced catastrophic problems: severe engine knocking, excessive smoke from the exhaust, complete loss of power, and in many cases, total engine failure within days. I've personally seen engines destroyed beyond repair by this contaminated fuel. We're talking about melted fuel injectors from chemical contamination, completely clogged fuel filters and lines, destroyed catalytic converters costing thousands to replace, and internal engine damage requiring complete rebuilds or replacement. One Ford F-250 Super Duty that came through our shop had filled up at a station that unknowingly sold Lamb Fuels contaminated gasoline. Within 100 miles, the truck's engine seized completely. The repair estimate was over $15,000 for a complete engine replacement. The truly frightening aspect is that most drivers never knew what hit them. They just thought their truck suddenly developed a catastrophic mechanical failure. These aren't just corner cutters trying to save money. These are criminals who put profit ahead of people's safety and vehicle integrity. Now, here's the good news. Not every fuel brand operates this way. Some companies actually exceed standards to protect your Ford's engine. Let's go into the 5 gasoline brands that will actually keep your truck running strong for thousands of miles. At number 5, we have Costco gasoline, sold under the Kirkland brand name. Most people assume warehouse fuel means cheap quality, but Costco completely defies that stereotype. Their fuel is fully top-tier certified, meaning it meets the same high detergent standards as premium brands like Chevron or Shell. In fact, independent laboratory analysis has shown Costco gasoline frequently contains more cleaning additives than many name-brand fuels. I've seen numerous high-mileage Ford trucks that run exclusively on Costco fuel with zero carbon buildup problems. Their formula is simple but effective. They move such massive fuel volumes that it's always fresh, and they maintain their underground storage tanks meticulously. Clean tanks mean clean gasoline, and clean gasoline means a healthy engine. For Ford truck owners, this is a rare combination. True top-tier quality at lower price per gallon. The membership fee pays for itself quickly if you're filling up regularly. Costco's fuel works exceptionally well in Ford's turbocharged EcoBoost engines, which demand high-quality gasoline to prevent carbon buildup and maintain boost pressure. The consistent detergent package keeps intake valves clean and fuel injectors functioning optimally. The only downside to Costco is the membership requirement and the fact that their stations can get busy during peak hours. But if you can plan your fill-ups accordingly, you're getting exceptional value and quality for your Ford truck. At number 4, we have BP Ultimate Fuel. Now, I ranked regular Amoco fuel much lower on this list, but their Ultimate Premium Blend is a completely different product, and it's one of the best fuels you can put in your Ford truck. BP's Ultimate Fuel isn't your average premium gasoline. It's engineered with an advanced detergent package that doesn't just prevent carbon buildup, it can actually remove existing deposits over time. This active cleaning formula sets it apart from many competitors. I've seen Ford engines that switched to BP Ultimate after years of using cheaper fuel, and within just a few tanks, the idle quality smoothed out significantly and throttle response returned to brand new condition. The detergent technology literally dissolves carbon deposits as you drive. Ultimate is top-tier certified with enhanced detergent levels that exceed even the standard top-tier requirements. BP claims it keeps engines up to 60% cleaner than fuels with minimum detergent levels. Based on what I've observed in my shop with Ford trucks specifically, that claim is entirely accurate. For Ford's advanced engines, particularly the second and third generation EcoBoost motors with direct injection and turbocharging, this level of fuel quality can extend engine life by tens of thousands of miles. Clean intake valves mean better airflow, which translates to more efficient combustion and maximum power output. Yes, BP Ultimate costs more per gallon than regular fuel and even more than standard premium at other stations, but your Ford's engine will reward you with optimal performance, better fuel economy than you get with carbon buildup, and extended engine life. When you calculate the cost of carbon cleaning services and potential repairs avoided, Ultimate actually saves you money in the long run. And if BP Ultimate's protection impressed you, the next brand is one of the most reliable in the country. Number 3 is ExxonMobil with their Synergy gasoline blend. This brand built its reputation on consistency, scientific research, and one of the most comprehensive additive packages in the industry. Their Synergy formula contains 7 key ingredients designed to protect critical engine components from both carbon deposits and corrosion. This isn't marketing fluff. ExxonMobil has patents on their additive technology, and independent testing confirms its effectiveness. What makes ExxonMobil stand out is that even the regular grade fuel meets full top-tier standards. You're not getting a watered-down formula when you choose regular instead of premium. Every grade contains the same comprehensive detergent package, ensuring cleaner combustion, smoother idle quality, and fewer long-term issues like engine knock or valve deposits. For Ford truck owners who tow heavy trailers or haul significant payloads, fuel quality becomes even more critical. Your engine works harder and runs hotter under load, which can accelerate carbon formation. ExxonMobil's detergent package helps mitigate this issue, keeping your engine clean even under demanding conditions. The consistency of ExxonMobil is what really impresses me. Unlike discount stations where quality varies wildly between locations, every Exxon station delivers the same high-quality fuel. Whether you're filling up in Florida or Alaska, you know exactly what you're getting. This is solid, dependable fuel that you can trust at any location across the country. It's not a hit-or-miss proposition. But if you think Exxon's consistency is impressive, wait until you hear about the next brand's advanced cleaning technology. At number 2, we have Shell V-Power. This is one of the few fuels that actively fights engine deposits rather than just slowing their formation, and it's specifically formulated for high-performance engines like those in Ford trucks. Shell's nitrogen-enriched formula creates a protective barrier inside your engine that prevents carbon and contaminants from bonding to metal surfaces. Think of it as armor for your intake valves and fuel injectors. This innovative approach sets Shell apart from most competitors. Ford trucks running on Shell fuel for years consistently show clean combustion chambers and smooth idle quality. The consistency is what really stands out. Every Shell station follows strict top-tier standards, so you know exactly what you're getting regardless of location. There's no quality lottery. Shell V-Power isn't the cheapest option at the pump, but you can feel the difference in throttle response and overall engine performance. The nitrogen-enriched cleaning system also helps reduce emissions by promoting more complete combustion. This keeps your catalytic converters and oxygen sensors functioning properly for longer, avoiding expensive exhaust system repairs. Shell also offers excellent protection for Ford's EcoBoost engines. The turbocharged motors generate significant heat, and poor fuel quality can cause carbon to bake onto intake valves and piston tops. Shell's cleaning technology prevents this buildup, maintaining optimal airflow and combustion efficiency even under boost. The premium you pay for Shell V-Power is worth every penny when you consider the performance benefits and repair costs avoided. But even Shell takes second place to the #1 fuel brand for Ford trucks. The #1 best fuel for your Ford truck is Chevron with Techron. This is a perfect example of what quality gasoline should be, and it's the gold standard that all other fuels are measured against. Chevron's Techron additive formula isn't marketing hype or empty promises. It's one of the most powerful and effective detergent packages ever approved by automakers worldwide. It actively scrubs carbon deposits off your intake valves, pistons, and fuel injectors while you drive. No other fuel additive technology has been studied and validated as extensively as Techron. I've disassembled Ford engines with over 150,000 miles that ran primarily on Chevron gasoline. The internal components were remarkably clean. The intake valves showed minimal carbon buildup, and the fuel injectors maintained their original spray patterns. Techron prevents the sticky carbon accumulation that degrades fuel economy and power output over time. Chevron is top-tier certified, meaning it meets and often exceeds the detergent standards that Ford and other automakers recommend. This is why professional mechanics and performance enthusiasts consistently recommend it. Techron keeps fuel systems running at peak efficiency by preventing the sticky buildup that kills mileage and power over time. For Ford EcoBoost turbocharged engines, which are particularly susceptible to carbon buildup due to their direct injection design, Chevron provides unmatched protection. The Techron formula prevents deposits on the intake valves where fuel never touches, keeping airflow at maximum levels and maintaining power output. I worked on a Ford F-150 with a 2.7-liter EcoBoost that had 200,000 miles on it. The owner had used Chevron with Techron exclusively since day one. When we performed a comprehensive inspection as part of a pre-sale evaluation, the engine internals looked incredible. The intake valves had so little carbon buildup that we initially thought the engine had much lower mileage. The compression test showed all cylinders within factory specifications, and the turbochargers showed no signs of wear or carbon accumulation. Sure, Chevron typically costs a few cents more per gallon than discount brands and sometimes even more than other top-tier fuels, but you'll save far more in avoided repairs, reduced maintenance costs, and better fuel economy over the life of your truck. When you calculate the total cost of ownership, Chevron is actually the most economical choice. Your Ford truck represents a significant investment, whether it's a work truck, family hauler, or weekend warrior. Protecting that investment starts with what you put in the tank. Chevron with Techron is the fuel that helps your engine breathe easy, run clean, and last for hundreds of thousands of miles. So there you have it, the complete ranking of gasoline brands from the absolute worst that can destroy your Ford's engine to the best fuels that'll keep your truck running strong for years to come. And if you found this ranking helpful, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're constantly testing and analyzing products to help Ford truck owners get maximum performance, reliability, and value from their vehicles. Drop a comment below and let me know which fuel brand you use and whether you've had any problems. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.